Game of the night, the Portland TrailBlazers with a 132-126 victory, and this was a high-scoring game. It got off to a roaring start, and the Blazers improved to 7-5, and the Kings fall to 5-7. Jusuf Nurkic, he had a big game in this one. 18 points, 12 rebounds, 6 of 8 from the field, and 6 for 9 from the line. So Nurkic, this was one of his better games this season here with the Portland TrailBlazers, and he's a guy I recommended to sell off this week. He just hasn't been getting the job done, but in this game, he had a big game. He played well, and hopefully it's better things to come here for Jusuf Nurkic at the center position. Just consistency is key, and so far he hasn't been consistent, but it's a nice double-double tonight. Robert Covington, this was one of his better games of the season for him as far as scoring the basketball. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 of 12 from the field, 4 for 7 from downtown in 31 minutes of play. So it was good to see Covington hit the 3-ball and score 12 points. So hopefully he could get things going, because he's on the verge of being dropped in 10 and 12 team leagues is Covington, because the production just hasn't been there yet for him. Derrick Jones Jr., 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 of 5 from the field, and 1 for 3 from downtown. He's starting. I know he's playing 25-30 minutes a game on average so far this season for Portland, but at this time, he just holds no fantasy value. He's not doing much of anything. CJ McCollum, another big game for him, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, and this season, his passing's got way better so far, McCollum. His assist numbers are up. His scoring is up. 10 of 23 from the field. That's a little down. And he took a whopping 16 three-point attempts. He hit 6 of them, is McCollum. So McCollum, so far this season, he's ranked in the top 5 for fantasy owners, and he's paying big dividends and helping teams get victories and points so far. Dame Lillard, his biggest game of the season, 40 points, 13 assists, 11 of 23 from the field, 12 for 12 from the line, and 6 of 15 from downtown. So Lillard, you know he's a pure scorer. You know he's one of the best point guards in basketball. And to have 13 assists, that's a big number for Lillard in this one. And it was contagious in this game. The scoring was out of control for both teams. And this Trailblazer team, they pulled it out in this one. And Damian Lillard, he's a stud and was a first-round pick for a reason. Gary Trent, he got hot off the bench in this one. 23 minutes of play, 16 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 6 of 8 from the field, and 4 for 5 from downtown. To Gary Trent, we've seen signs of him now over the last season and a half of him having games where he could come off the bench and get red hot and hit a lot of three-pointers. And that was what we saw in this one from Trent Jr., and hopefully he continues. But right now, he's only worth the roster spot in 16-team fantasy leagues. Carmelo Anthony, 20 minutes of play, 6 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist, 2 of 4 from the field, and 2 for 2 from three-point land. So Carmelo Anthony, he's got to get better and more consistent playing time to own a roster spot in 14-team leagues or deeper. I would own him. But 10 and 12-team leagues, he's on the fringe of ownage. He's been up and down his scoring this season. But Melo, you know what you'll get from him when he plays bigger minutes. 15 points and about 6 boards and a couple threes a game. Menace Cantor, his minutes have dropped over the last few games, but he's a play I would still hold on to this season, because he's had a lot of double-doubles. 4 points, 5 rebounds in 17 minutes. So if an injury or something would happen to Nurkic, Cantor, he would be a fantasy monster. So I would hold on to him, because he's still producing as a backup. He's still getting decent minutes. And in this game, it just wasn't in the game script. There was a lot of small ball and three-point shooting. Rodney Hood, 10 minutes, but he's not a player worth a fantasy spot. Sacramento Kings side of things now. Raquan Holmes, another big game for him. 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists for Holmes. 6 of 6 from the field. So Holmes, he's been playing lights out over the last week or two, and he's a player I recommended to sell high, because I don't think he'll finish the season in the top 20 in fantasy basketball where he's ranked right now. He's a good sell high guy. You could maybe get a superstar for him if you package him with another decent player. And right now, Raquan Holmes, he's a definite sell high, and his value is at its peak. Harrison Barnes, 35 minutes, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 of 9 from the field, 5 for 6 from the foul line. So Harrison Barnes, he was a recommended sell high guy as well because his numbers have been out of this world. He's been a great pickup for fantasy owners, but I don't know if he's to sustain this top 50 ranking so far in fantasy. Marvin Bagley, he only played 19 minutes, but he made the most of it. 11.6 rebounds and an assist, 4 or 5 from the field and 1 for 2 from downtown. So Bagley, his stock is fallen the last few games now. His numbers have gone down. The playing time has gone down. And maybe a change of scenery will be good for Bagley like his father wants for his son. Buddy Hield, 38 minutes of play, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 9 of 21 from the field, and 8 of 18 from downtown. So Buddy Hield, he's pretty much just a three-point shooter at this time. 18 three-point attempts. That's out of control in 21 shot attempts. But Hield, his field goal percentage has been a problem so far this season, but now he's starting to get things going and shooting the basketball a little better. And he also added 6 rebounds and 5 assists. So if Hield's on the trading block in your fantasy leagues, you should go out there and try to get him. De'Aaron Fox, another good game. 29 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 9 of 18 from the field, and 5 for 8 from downtown. So Fox, you know what you were going to get from him. He was a 4th or 5th round pick in most fantasy leagues, and he's playing to that level right now. And Sacramento paid him the big money for a reason, because he's the main man over there. Reese, Hyown, Burton, he had a good game in this one. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 of 10 from the field. And Halliburton, I want to see him play more minutes. He's starting to produce, and he was a top pick in the NBA draft for a reason. This kid had a good college career, and I believe he'll have a good NBA career. And right now, he's going to carve out that 6-man role off the bench here for this Sacramento King team. Corey Joseph, 17 minutes. He didn't do anything. No fantasy value. Glenn Robinson, 14 minutes. He didn't do much. And Hassan Whiteside, only 9 minutes once again here. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 of 6, 3 of 6 from the field, and 1 foul shot out of 2 attempts. And Whiteside, a change of scenery probably will be better. And I could see him getting traded to a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who need big man help now after traded Jared Allen in the James Harden deal. And he's only making the minimum as Whiteside, so he could fit on the Nets books this season. So a landing spot like that would be ideal for Whiteside, because he has no fantasy value at this time here with the Sacramento Kings. So that was the January 13th recap of fantasy basketball and the NBA.